When your partner leaves you for someone else, it's natural to feel like you weren't good enough and that this other person is better than you are. Whether we think they're more attractive than we are, smarter, funnier, more loving, more successful, we end up comparing ourselves to this new person who we view as the person who replaced us because there was something wrong with us or we just weren't good enough anymore. It's an awful feeling, and the jealousy and envy can seriously damage our self-esteem if we don't take some action to stop that obsessive downward spiral. Hi, I'm Patty Blue Hayes, author, coach, and your guide to blossoming beyond heartbreak and cultivating hope as you sow the seeds of healing. Let's look at this situation from a Jungian perspective as to why we shouldn't take it personally when a partner chooses someone else. 1. Individuation. Jung believed in the process of individuation, which involves the journey towards self-realization and the integration of all facets of the psyche, the complex amalgamation of all aspects of being human. The Jungian perspective would see this as an opportunity for self-discovery and growth. We might look at our feelings of rejection and inadequacy through the lens of strengthening our self-worth and not putting our sense of value in the hands of someone else. Rather than asking what is so special about the new person they chose, we might instead ask ourselves what belief patterns contributed to our current feelings of not being good enough. Rather than focusing on the new partner's physical attributes, we put the focus on identifying ways to detach from the need for external validation and find ways to learn how to feel good about ourselves from within. I know how challenging this can be, especially if your self-esteem has been low for a long time in an unhealthy relationship dynamic. You wouldn't be watching this video if you parted ways amicably with your self-esteem intact. But this raging fire of pain within you now is a result of not extinguishing the smoldering embers when they first became evident. Don't condemn yourself for that. Instead, recognize that there's a lot of internal work to be done and start doing it. It's not about them or their hair, eyes, or laugh. It's about you. Your job is to come to a place of not only balance, but of strength within yourself so this awful feeling doesn't ever happen again. This painful experience is happening for you to deepen your understanding of yourself. It is not happening as some sort of cosmic punishment. Living life is all about growth. This is your unique path of growth towards individuation and wholeness. 2. Projection. Jungian psychology emphasizes the concept of projection, where we unconsciously attribute our own unconscious traits, desires, or emotions onto others. An example of this is when the cheating partner accuses you of cheating, or when we assume a negative motive for the last-minute cancellation of plans. When your partner chooses someone else, it can activate projections of your own insecurities and unresolved issues onto that new person. I may project my lack of self-esteem onto the new person by assuming they have internal strength that I don't have. I may assume they are successful in their work and feel jealous if I don't feel that my own work efforts have been prosperous. By recognizing and exploring these projections we cast upon others, we gain insight into our own inner dynamics and can work towards resolving the unconscious beliefs we have. 3. The collective unconscious. Jung proposed the existence of a collective unconscious, a reservoir of shared human experiences and archetypical patterns that all humans have the capacity to experience. When your partner chooses someone else, you may tap into collective unconscious themes such as abandonment, betrayal, or feeling unworthy and unlovable. By recognizing the archetypical nature of these experiences, you can find solace in understanding that you are not alone in your struggles and that these themes are part of the broader human experience. I know one of the most desperate feelings I experienced was feeling so alone in the world. I searched for stories of people like me who were falling apart and felt slayed at the knees from the betrayal. Unfortunately, the stories I found were of people who moved on quickly, found their soulmates, and developed successful businesses. It made me feel even more isolated and ashamed of myself. If you're feeling alone in the world, perhaps reading my book, Wine, Sex, and Suicide, My Near-Death Divorce, will help you feel that you're not the only one. Please help me continue to create these videos by subscribing to my channel if you find this content valuable. From a spiritual growth perspective, stopping the comparisons to that new partner they chose involves deepening our self-awareness, learning what self-love is, and embracing spiritual principles such as acceptance, compassion, and detachment. Self-awareness shifts our focus away from the ex or their new partner and brings it home to ourselves by simply becoming aware of the thoughts, emotions, and beliefs that arise when comparing yourself to the new partner or your feelings about the breakup. You have a starting point for areas to heal. If I recognize that I feel abandoned and unlovable, I can start to explore where those feelings originated, where the deeper roots might be buried. Learning how to love yourself might be one of the more challenging aspects of your spiritual growth on this journey back to wholeness. I would suggest making that topic a starting point for your research. Absorb all the information you can about what self-love is and how to start developing it. This self-study should bring you to the understanding that your worth is not determined by external factors, such as a partner's choice, but by your own intrinsic divine nature. Developing compassion towards yourself and others, even the ex, will be helpful for your spiritual growth. It may take a while to attain this, but now that you're aware this is a pillar of strength to build, you can put some focus towards that concept. We strive to come to the understanding that everyone is on their own path of growth and evolution. Comparing yourself only detours you from your journey. Your mind doesn't have an on and off switch, and it will be challenging to stop thinking about them and comparing yourself to the new person in their life. But now that you're aware of the tools necessary for your healing and growth, there is a part of you who will seek out ways to bring your energy and attention inward. Developing detachment from situations like this allows you to focus inward towards your spiritual growth, inner peace, and alignment with your higher self. Letting go of the need for approval or validation from others and releasing the never-ending "but why" puts you on the inside track for healing and growth you are meant to do. By detaching, you are putting your trust in the divine wisdom of life. Let that life force guide your journey. Loosen the grip of ego that desperately clings to concepts like security, recognition, validation, and importance. By opening your arms and heart to surrender to this inward journey, you come to a place of acceptance. It is what it is. The reality of the situation cannot be changed. Accept that the choices of others are beyond your control and that ruminating and comparing yourself only perpetuates suffering. Surrender to what is and trust in the divine unfolding of your life's journey. By releasing the resistance and putting effort into acceptance, you can find moments of peace. And on an emotionally intense journey such as heartbreak, moments of peace are treasures. By embracing these spiritual principles and practices, you will eventually transcend the desire to compare yourself, and you'll find liberation from the ego's grip. You can reclaim your power, cultivate inner peace, and embody a sense of self-realization and spiritual fulfillment. This develops over time. It's not something that happens quickly, nor is it easy. But is it worth it to look within yourself, hold the shadow parts up to the light, turn yourself inside out in the painful process of rebuilding the self? Absolutely. Remember, you're on a journey of healing and transformation. The seed does not become a blossom overnight.